Hello and welcome to the Firearms Insider Gun and Gear Review Podcast. This is episode 173. On this show, we showcase gun reviews, gear, and anything else that gun enthusiasts may be looking for. We strive to provide products with an unbiased and honest perspective. I'm your host, Ryan Cross from the Firearms Radio Network, your source for broadcast for shooters, hunters, and all things firearms related. So we got a full podcast tonight. We got Sean from Black Bag Resources, along with Tony, Rob, and Chad. How's it going, guys?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Yo.
I missed you guys. I had to come back.
Thank
you. You can't quit us, can you?
Nope.
We're just like the cocaine.
Wow.
What?
Wow.
Yes, white and dry. You are just like cocaine.
I told ya.
Yep.
Wow.
We went there. So, what did everyone have a good week?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. Who did something firearms related?
I guess no one.
Wow. Wrong answer.
Yeah, who did something more exciting to me. That's all.
What do you call it? Sadly, I got busy, got caught up in something. I forgot what we did Wednesday. I have no idea. I don't remember. And all I got was my tactical fondle on and some dry firing with my 9mm carbine that I took out and took some photos of this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to do something, and then it was pouring down rain and cold and snowing at the range, so I decided not to go out there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm in my busy season at work, so I'm pretty much swamped until the end of April.
And you got to understand, Chad, at his age, he catches a cold, it could kill him.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm doing
Could
the podcast?
cost him his good hip.
Everybody else is sick in my house. I'm trying to stay away from them.
What are you talking about? He's patient zero for all the viruses in the book.
That means you're getting it before these other guys because you live closer, Brian.
Exactly.
No, I mean,
We're not saying Chad's old. We're just saying that guy doesn't even have a belly button.
Hey, you're giving my alias away, okay?
I'm just saying, the first time he caught a cold, they put leeches on him because that was what you used to cure it back then.
Yeah, you know what? We can't discuss his stuff anymore. It's a HIPAA violation.
Oh yeah.
No, they didn't. I didn't sign anything back then, so.
That's because it was on a rock.
Yeah, I was going to say it's chiseled in. It says bird, eye, pyramid.
Yeah.
The tablet broke.
The tablet broke.
So
I dropped it coming down the mountain.
Rob, did you do anything in guns this last week?
No, like I said, man, I'm tied up at work. I'm working, lots of overtime and lots of extended hours.
Okay.
So I haven't had time to do.
Well, on myself, I went and visited the old Cross Ranch. My dad got a new gun, so I wanted to check it out firsthand. He got a Ruger single 9 22 Magnum revolver, so single action, but it's kind of our first 22 Magnum, so all of a sudden I had to go out and find the best deal on 22 Magnum that I could find, which I think ended up being the CCI A22 like 200 round bricks that they make specifically for the Savage A22 semi-auto. That was, I think, $60 for a box of 200, but they, I think CCI, whatever brand it's under, the Vista Group, I don't know, or Vista Outdoors, they had a instant rebate, so it came down to $59.99, or no, $49.99, so $50 for 200 rounds. That was a pretty good deal. Other than that, I did actually get a threaded barrel for my SIG P938. So I took my can and I shot some subsonic 9mm out of it, just to kind of see what that gun feels like when it's suppressed. It's doable. It's a little awkward though because it just feels unbalanced. Especially my suppressor, the Eco 9 from AAC. It's a little longer. It's about like an inch and a half longer than most 9mm cans to begin with. Because it's just got a less efficient baffle design. That's why I got it so cheap. So then you add that on to a short pistol. It's got a short barrel. It just that joint where they thread together, and then when it tilts up when it fires, it actually increases the recoil of the gun when it feels like, because that the Nielsen device and the piston working back and forth. But it was fun. Got to shoot that a little bit. And that's pretty much what I did. And then did some chores around the farm for my old man. And he said I could take that 22 Magnum and put the first rounds through it. So hopefully I'll get to go to the actual range and shoot that. It's a little loud for the neighborhood. That wouldn't be good. Just shoot that guy. I'd be getting some phone calls. But now we're looking at getting other, like a long gun and 22 Magnum. So of course, me being, a little bit of a tactical Timmy, I wanted the Keltec CMR 30, and of course he's like, that looks impractical. Like he would rather get a bolt action, so I'm okay with that too. I just thought it'd be cool. I'm like, dude, 30 rounds, sweet.
Well, if you do that, then you need one of the pistols to go along with it.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Low capacity, mo problems.
That's
yeah,
right.
So that's what I did in guns.
I taught a class.
You did?
Ooh.
Yeah. Tony and I were down at Range 14 of Fort Dix doing the Black Bag Resources Guide to Bug Out Bags. So that was kind of interesting. Small group, but a friend of mine came out and video recorded the whole thing. So he's working on putting the video together, and hopefully we'll offer that as a distance learning course coming up soon. And I know you mentioned it last week, but I'd be remiss if I didn't give a shout out to my single fanboy, Cody. Hi, Cody.
Shout out to my fan.
Yeah, my fan. The president and entirety of the fan club.
Well, you're doing better than some of us, because, I don't think Ryan has any fans.
Yeah, I don't know.
Including that woman who lives in this house.
Yeah.
She's not a fan. That's different, though.
She's president of the anti-fan club.
That's probably
right.
true.
At least we have fans all one at a time. Rob counts them in half at a time.
Oh,
because he's got midgets.
Wow, dang man! Thank you.
Sooner or later, we're gonna get a letter about that, Tony.
A little letter.
Yeah.
Short letter.
It'll be on a 3x5 actually, not a complete 8.5 by 11.
Dear funny guys, you think you're funny, and I don't think so. I'm highly offended. Go to hell.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Lollipop Guild.
And the 6 other coal miners I work with are tired of your jokes.
Our roommate Snow White says she hates you too.
All right, so let's get on with the announcements and then start talking some fun stuff here. So bandwidth sponsor for the podcast is Patriot Patch Co. I added a new patch to the pre-order. I've been kind of talking about it before. The Ballistically Artistic patch is now available for pre-order. So this is a slightly larger patch than what we usually do. It's 6 inches wide, but it's white with a black background. So it's a blank canvas. It's an AR-15 with a little bit of a camo background, but it's like a coloring book. You can take whatever color markers you have and color that AR-15 however you like, and then fill in the background whatever pattern you like, or as far as the color scheme you like.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Is it white with a black background or black with a white background?
It's white with a black background. It's just so basically.
It looks like a white background with black print on it to me, but I'm colorblind, so I have to defer to your expertise, even for black and white.
No. It's got to have valleys in between all the shapes for that PVC vinyl, that 3D effect. So it's an SBR. It's got a little grip stop on there, suppressor. It's got a little aim point like sight. It's got maybe you might call that a Magpul like stock. Simplified so we don't get sued by anybody, but it should be a pretty sweet patch. I mean, if you want this thing to be FDE and OD green, I mean, if you can find the markers and the colors, you can color it however you want. If you want this thing to be gold, bling it out, get yourself some metallic ink markers and color that dude in. So that's a little higher. It's $15 compared to what we usually sell patches for. Because it's larger, it costs a little bit more to manufacture. So that is available for pre-order right now. You're going to want to take advantage of that. We've also got the 4 Rules of Gun Safety still in pre-order. We just added another batch of bullet, we're calling him Projectile Pete for copyright purposes. But he might be your favorite character from or your favorite baddie from the Mushroom Kingdom. One of our very popular morale patches. We just added him back. We're doing another run. So that's available on the pre-order page as well.
Is that the full size of the little
It is the full size.
Nice.
Yes. So it's like 2 inches by 4 inches. And then the new patch of the month, March exclusive, is I Make My Own Luck. So it's got a precision rifle and a little 4-leaf clover with a group of 4 bullet holes touching. Says I Make My Own Luck. So that's part of the Patch of the Month Club. $15 gets you an exclusive patch every month and a matching vinyl sticker. And
I bought 2.
You bought 2? Good man.
I bought 2. So you have to be at least as cool as me if you're listening to this and go buy at least 2.
Yeah.
2.
If you're into collecting patches that happen to have a little rarity to them, you can't do any better, because once these are sold out at the month, then they're gone and they're not coming back. So really popular item. So that's available on the store. So other announcements, the listener support program on the Firearms Radio Network. If you go to firearmsradio.tv and then go to the pledge page, you can pledge support to any one of your favorite podcasts on the Firearms Radio Network. If it so happens that this is your favorite podcast, you can pledge money, and that money is going to go directly into funding new gear and guns to review. And depending on the level that you pledge, you get a sizable return in Patriot Patch swag as a reward. So make sure you take advantage of that.
We're looking at you, Cody. You said this was your favorite show on the network.
That's right.
I know where to find you now. I've got your email, bro.
Shake them down, man. Shake them down. And if you're going to shop Amazon, we encourage you to use the affiliate link. Just go to firearmsradio.tv/Amazon and then shop Amazon, make your purchases. And then we appreciate getting that affiliate love in return. So coupon codes. We got the Black Bag Resources coupon codes. The $5 off any Gray Man Tactical RIPM panel ends on the 7th, which is actually next Wednesday. And that coupon code is Happy Birthday Chad. Because Chad was the only one of us to have a February birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Right. That's yes.
So
that's Sean, my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Go ahead and describe these panels once again for any new listeners.
The Gray Man Tactical panels come in a bunch of different sizes. They are a high-strength polyethylene material that you can use as a organizer on the back of your seat. If you've got a big Pelican case and you want to organize pouches in the top of your Pelican case, there's sizes appropriate for that. If you want to mount a holster on the inside of your vehicle door, that's a thing. They've got a smaller size that's appropriate for that. They've done a really good job at setting these up with extra slots and holes so that you can mount with screws, or you can add straps to them, in addition to mounting all your MOLLE gear on the panel itself. Pretty clever product.
Yep. Also, insides of gun safes, if you don't have a door organizer already.
Absolutely.
So then there's the other coupon code for Black Bag Resources. Simon Says Train. That'll get you free shipping on any order, because it's going to be directly donated to Tony. And the second is for everyone, Diversity Shoot. I did it, so you should be able to do that as well.
You're not cool if you do. You're not cool if you don't do it. I'm just saying, no pressure. But
so here's the standard. Cool, you got to donate to Simon Says Train. You got to buy at least 2 of the patches of the month for March. We're setting the bar pretty high.
There you go.
You guys want to get totally nuts?
Sure.
Let's create a coupon code live.
Live?
Uh-oh.
Is it only going to be
the program?
So only the people that are listening get to. Do you want me to write it down on the show notes?
No, that's fine. Let's set it up for like 24 hours. What are we going to put on sale here? How about classes? Tony and I have another pretty exciting course coming up this weekend. What do you guys think about that? Where should we do a product?
That sounds cool, but I can't buy it.
That's true. If you do a product, anybody, anywhere can buy it.
True.
All right.
So
Let's
class this
do-
weekend.
Which class is this weekend, Tony?
It's our active shooter, civilian response to active shooter, and self first aid.
Hey, Ryan?
Critical self-aid and active shooter response double feature. So it's two separate courses. Critical self-aid is being taught by Dr. Brent Schoenfeld. So we have an actual ER doctor teaching our medical course, and active shooter is being taught by Mike Wolford from Justifiable Force, active law enforcement officer. So we have the absolute best of the best teaching the course this weekend in hot topics that everybody should be interested in.
Well, yeah, everybody needs medical training.
Well, here's the thing about active shooter situation. Most people don't understand. Until the police clear the building, no one's getting medical aid. So it would behoove you to know how to give yourself, and by being able to work on yourself, being able to work on others, to help keep yourself alive until they clear the building, to allow the professionals to come in and take care of you.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Sean, do you have an idea what you want to?
I'm looking at, I've got C Products Defense 30-round aluminum AR-15 magazines, right? We're going to put those on sale. We're going to do $3 off, which, if I remember correctly, is about 30%. This is going to be for whatever I have in stock, which isn't a whole heck of a lot. So go ahead and jump on there. And what's the crazy coupon code we want to use? Anyone?
Livewire.
How about A2 grips?
How about
2032.
What?
What'd you say, Ryan?
Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia. You guys are.
People can't spell it. They don't know how to spell that, though.
Yeah, use 2032.
2032.
Nice.
2032.
Hey, Ryan, I was just looking at the Patriot Patch website. That new coloring patch.
Too-
Can I get half of
too
it? Can I
simple.
buy half a patch?
Nice.
Too simple?
Too simple. Yeah, too simple. Let's do
Okay.
you can't spell 2032.
There you go.
So spell out you can't spell and then add 2032, Chad's favorite battery.
Hey, is there an apostrophe in can't?
No, there is not. It's all one word. It's all crushed together. No spaces, no punctuation. Totally nuts. And let me just set this up. That's live. And it's going to go until March 1st. So if you're listening to the show live, you got your crack at this. You know what? Let's go totally insane.
What's totally insane?
It does say we have 6 viewers right now, so there's
Hey, there's
6 viewers.
6 people are getting a steal on these magazines.
I changed it. We're not doing $3 off. We're doing 30%.
Okay.
Even
Boom.
better.
Okay.
That sucker's live.
Suckers Live. What a
Yep.
deal.
Sweet.
What a deal.
You can't
So-
spell 2032.
So if you want to take advantage of that, you got to go to blackbagresources.com, go to the store, and then click on magazines. And then from there, you can locate that magazine we're referring to, the C Products Defense.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And I think once we get off the show, I'm going to put another one up on Black Bag Resources Facebook page. That's going to be
Nice.
another like 24-hour insane deal. How's
Nice.
that?
Sweet.
I had a rough day. I feel like doing something nice for somebody else.
Yeah. I
Way to
mean,
go.
you know, I'm not going to tell people what these mags are going to cost. They can go find out, but I don't think you can get them that cheap anywhere.
I'm probably losing money on it.
Is that money off the online price, or is that in addition to what your online price is?
It's going to be whatever the current price is, and then you're going to take 30% off of that. So go ahead. If you're curious, go ahead and add it to your cart.
Hey, should I go ahead and put this on Facebook? That we're having a new coupon code tonight if you listen live?
It says there's 21 available in stock, so you better hurry.
There you
I'm
go.
just asking.
Are they able to use 2 coupon codes if they wanted to get the good deal, but then give it to Tony using the Simon Says Train coupon
Don't
code?
even worry about it. Can't happen.
Yeah, that's Jersey, man. Can't buy that.
Nope.
Oh, I forgot.
They're 30 rounders. So
What if
that was, I think he did that intentionally to be
I
hurtful.
didn't. I'm sorry. Is there a coupon code that tells Sean to cut that mag in half and then weld the base plate to the bottom?
Yeah, not only
No,
that,
that's only for Colorado. You need to cut it in thirds for Tony.
Oh, jeez.
Well, here's the funny part. It's like, yeah, it's 30% off the magazine, and add 30% to cut it by 50% to make it Jersey legal.
Yeah, I'm not good at math, so that's making my head spin just thinking about all that. Cool. So thanks for doing that. And then we've also got one more coupon code, GG10 for 10% off all M2 sites, products, accessories for the Griffin Armament, because I did that review last week. That ends March 31st. So you have to the end of the month to save 10% off any of your M2 sites or accessories. Cool. And then actually I wanted to add one more announcement. I guess I have more listeners than I thought I did, and there's been quite a few there's been a couple of guys in Washington State that are curious about meeting up with me at the next gun show, where I'm going to be selling patches and cleaning mats at a Patriot Patch Co. booth. So what I want to do is add that to the announcements. So I, myself, the artist, formerly known as Ryan Cross and still known as Ryan Cross, will be at the Washington Arms Collectors Gun Show at the Puyallup Fairgrounds. And that is going to be, what did I say? Was that March 23rd? I think it's March 23rd through the 24th. I'll have to verify that real quick on my email just to be sure. It's March 25th through 26th. I stand corrected. So I'm actually going to be, I think, probably part of the Backwood Patriot booth, just because they're friends of mine. But I'll be having all my patches there and cleaning mats. And then if you happen to need a hat to wear your patch, they carry Condor hats right there. So meet me at the show, say hi, take a selfie, Instagram that stuff, get some patches at a
Here's
lower
another
price.
hot tip. Ryan Cross is a hugger. Make sure you get your hug from him. He is not shy about boundaries or physical contact.
Yeah, I was going to say,
not at all.
Be careful. You never know what he might touch.
As long as it's good touch and a bad touch.
Know?
He learned the hard way.
Yeah. All right. So I wanted to throw that out there. And then also, it's kind of a shot in the dark. But if you're in Washington State and you enjoy the podcast and you want to be more involved and you happen to have some private land that's okay to shoot on, I would love to get a spot where I could, do some reviews, video reviews, and on a private range setup and not have to worry about other people and the RSO and all that stuff. So if that's something that you'd like to work out with me, I'd love
He's
to get
willing to
get
barter
that
for
going.
physical affection.
I am willing to barter a lot of things for that, actually. Private property you can shoot on is kind of rare on this side of Washington State, so I'll take it when I can get it. So that's the end of the announcements. So we're going to get into the main topic, the product review, and I'm going to go ahead and do another review this week. This is going to be Kinetic Development Group Connect QD M-Lock mounts, and I'm going to have my my little Lone Wolf Distributors 9mm carbine here as my demo rifle to exhibit the cool thing with these little Connect mounts. So Connect Development makes a lot of awesome AR-15 accessories, components. Their Connect line really helps to take advantage of the M-Lock system. If you're not aware, M-Lock is a sort of modular AR-15 mounting system that uses these slots in the handguard. Let me show you the side that doesn't have covers in it. Uses these slots for you to move your accessories around, place them where you see fit. The thing that you need to do is have the correct Allen key to loosen those screws and those T-nuts. That the proper term for those is T-nuts. To loosen them so that you can then remove your accessory or reposition it anywhere on your rails you see fit, or swap it onto another gun with an M-LOK compatible handguard. So it still takes time, but the main benefit is obviously you're already using M-LOK. Hopefully, if you're using Keymod, God rest your soul. But if you're already using M-LOK, it kind of is. You can take something off, under a minute, if depending on how fast you are, and if you have that Allen wrench handy. The problem is that you could still over tighten and damage the internals of your handguard, and then obviously you run the risk of stripping those screws if you happen to over tighten them, and then for some reason they get stripped when you're loosening them up, and they just wear over time. So Kinetic Development Group, KDG, kind of came out with a creative solution for all that. It's a spring-loaded Picatinny rail that interacts with the M-LOK slots. So it has these wedges on the front and rear of the rail, and there's these very small actuator buttons on the underside. So when you place it and line it up with your M-LOK rail and you push down, you'll hear a click. And both of those wedges are spring-loaded, so the springs jut them out forward and back, and it fits onto the rail pretty snugly. And so, as you can see, I've got the 7-slot, and I have actually a bipod, a Picatinny bipod mount onto that, and then a bipod mounted to that. So if I wanted to put a bipod on this little SBR 9mm, I don't know why I would in practicality, but for review purposes, I can just slap that on there and then use the bipod. And if I wanted to take it off, it's really easy to take off. And if I wanted to put it on a different rifle, it'd be easy to do so. So that way I'm only buying one bipod and whatever mount you need, instead of if you have one piece of gear, investing in multiple copies of it for your other rifles. You can just have one setup. If you have a favorite vertical foregrip or a favorite flashlight, you could swap it onto all of your M-LOK compatible rifles instead of just getting duplicates if you're tired of switching them around on the fly. So when you press down on the M-LOK to the rail and then you want to remove it, there's actually these two tabs on the front and the back that stick out, and that's how you know that you've got a firm connection, because those two tabs will fully extend. So then all you got to do is you take your thumb and your index finger and then just push those tabs back inwards, and they will lock, and then you can remove the product from your rail. The bipod's not really a great example because they actually make a Connect variant that just has a bipod swivel stud, so you can attach your bipod to that directly. Works the same, but I've just got this Yankee Hill bipod adapter to work with that just fine. Another example, so this is the 7-slot. They do also make a 3-slot. So I've got this Magpul offset flashlight mount, and it's using the 3-slot, and so I can easily attach that to this same AR-15 using this this M-LOK rail. This is a Seekins 7-inch M-LOK rail. Actually, I think it's a 9-inch. So this obviously, it's really easy to just move things around. If I put the flashlight like too far forward, and then I find, oh, well, it's too far from my hand to actuate, pretend this is a full-length rifle, I can then just disengage the Connect and then move it back 1 slot. So a lot of times, if you're just doing this with the standard M-LOK, you might mount something and then have to change your mind, take it off. It just kind of adds time and inconvenience. And this is all about being fast and kind of lazy and more efficient. So now there is some downsides. Obviously, a large part of the market of M-LOK compatible furniture happens to be polymer and not metal, especially the Magpul handguards. And I don't know who else makes polymer M-LOK furniture, but I'm sure they're out there somewhere. The problem is that the specs for those are a little bit thicker and different than metal handguards with M-LOK in them. So these actually aren't 100% compatible. So for instance, let me put this carbine down, and behind me, I actually have my my Remington 870 with the Magpul fore end. So this fore end is polymer, obviously. So I can take this flashlight and I can attach it to any of the side rails, the 3 o'clock or the 9 o'clock, and it attaches just fine. I can get both tabs to extend, which tells me that it is properly expanded and connected to that rail, and it's not going to come off. Now, if I wanted to, for some reason, attach it to the bottom, the 6 o'clock position, I can only get like one to expand, but the other one won't, and then I can easily just pull the whole thing off so it doesn't get that full connection. And the reason for that is if I was using a standard M-LOK rail with the T-nuts, obviously I could still attach a rail to the bottom or an accessory to the bottom. They make the polymer walls just thicker in some parts of the furniture. So on a 12 gauge shotgun, it makes sense to make the polymer walls a little bit thicker on the fore end on the 6 o'clock position, because that's probably where you're going to be gripping onto an accessory, a hand stop, a vertical foregrip, an angled foregrip, so on. And so there's going to be kind of more recoil forces and just more forces of you racking the slide back and forth, racking the action. So they have to make it a little bit thicker to compensate for the structural integrity. The bad part about that is just these little connect pieces won't work for that. So they do have that on their website, a disclaimer. They do offer kind of a warranty or a return policy that if it doesn't work with your polymer product and you don't want to modify that polymer M-LOK product yourself, taking a Dremel to the inside or filing it down so that the wedges can fully expand inside that slot, you've got a 30-day return policy for store credit with the Connect Development Group website. And doing my review and kind of looking at all this, I think it's kind of weak, actually. I really like KDG. I like the guys. I've met them at SHOT Show and NRA Show and hung out with them a little bit. So I'm not sure why they don't have like a secondary connect that has just works with the larger specs of the polymer rails. You know, there's this M-LOK has a certain kind of spec, and they tried to stay within that for metal rails, as they should, but I feel like they probably should have made another connect to work with polymer if there is a set spec range of measurement thickness that they could change the wedges to and have it work for that. And the fact that they only give you store credit and you only want to run your M-LOK handguard that's polymer, then you still have to spend money with them with that store credit. But if you can't get a connect, then you might have to get something else that maybe you didn't really need, but you don't want to just let that money sit there. So the original specs set forth by Magpul when they developed the M-LOK was, let's see, 0.08 inches to 0.125 inches thick. So with some polymers that can get up to 0.15 total thickness. So I tried the M-LOK on everything polymer M-LOK that I could have as far as testing out this little connect rail. So the Magpul Hunter 700 and X22 stocks, couldn't get it to work with really any of the rails, especially the 6 o'clock. So MOE handguards like this Magpul 870 fore end, it works on the 6 o'clock and the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock, but not the bottom 6 o'clock. I don't have any MOE handguards for the AR-15. I would imagine that the side rails would be good to go, but the bottom would still be a no-go. So yeah, that's just something you have to consider. I wish they made a 5-slot instead of jumping from 3-slot to 7-slot, because I feel like certain foregrips, like say this, I know Magpul makes an M-LOK compatible RVG, but if I had the Picatinny one or any other Picatinny vertical foregrip, I feel like the 5-slot would be better for this size versus the 3, which if this uses 2 cross bolts, it doesn't really work really well with the 3, and 7 is overkill. So they need to make a 5 slot. They might be further down in the future, or maybe they just decided to not have one in that intermediate size. So the 8 key points. The claim to fame is that Connect by KDG for M-LOK is a revolutionary QD mounting system that will change the way we attach accessories to our modular weapons platforms. Target market's going to be obviously the modern sporting rifle owners, so the AR-15, SCARs, some shotgun owners as well, as long as you have furniture that's M-LOK compatible. So the features and benefits: the 3-slot Connect rail is an 1-inch point or 1.68 inches long, and it only uses 1 M-LOK slot hole. The 7-slot is 3.73 inches long, and it uses 2 M-LOK slot holes. The width of both is 0.82 inches. The height over the M-LOK surface, or the rail surface, is 0.41 inches. Should be compatible with any metal M-LOK rail system. Like I said, iffy on those polymer rail systems, and the weight is 0.8 ounces. The other aesthetic options available: black anodized only. However, there is that bipod out there with just the swivel stud, and it still uses the Connect system. And there's offset mounts also if you wanted to attach like a flashlight, or maybe like a micro red dot on your rail, but have it at 45 degrees. You can do that as well with the offset Connect. So what others are saying, I found a Brownells review that is on the Firearms Insider review if you want to read further into what that other person said. The price point for the 3-slot is $49.99, and it's an extra $10 for the 7-slot. Same price as retail at brownells.com. I've got the affiliate links to Brownells if you want to click on those. I've also got the affiliate link to amazon.com as well. And you can get the 7-slot for $55.79. And you can also get the 3-slot for a little bit less, for $46.49. So you save a few bucks here and there if you shop Amazon instead. Encourage you to still use the affiliate link though, so we get credit for referring you there. The score, I'm going to give it a 7.5 as good. It's easy to attach, turns any Picatinny accessory into M-LOK, like a foregrip or anything else that you would attach to rail. It kind of converts it into an M-LOK. Works on all sides of a handguard with M-LOK slots, if it's metal construction. It's solid and secure attachment. You really want to, when you attach it to something, especially if it's polymer, you really want to give it a good yank to make sure it's a secure connection and that it doesn't give you like a false positive. I'd hate for you to click something on there and it seems like it's on, and then just the next time you bump it, that accessory just falls right off. So you really want to make sure that those forward and rear tabs fully extend out to tell you that the Connect is properly engaged. It removes the risk of over-tightening and damaging the handguard itself. I have a habit of over-tightening the standard M-LOK T-nuts, and especially on like polymer stocks like the Hunter 700 and the X22 stock. I have worn some of that polymer on the inside by over-tightening. So this kind of avoids that entirely if it worked for those systems. So you can kind of see the kind of the dilemma that I have with using this product and really recommending it for like everybody, especially Magpul owners. So the cons: unlocking tabs on both ends need clearance to use, so that does take up additional rail space. If you've only got so much rail space and you attach the M-LOK on there, obviously you're going to have the front and rear tabs that stick out about, I don't know, 1/4 of an inch, but you're going to need clearance to get your fingers in there to pinch them in and remove the accessory. So you got to take that into consideration. And then the big con, obviously I mentioned it several times now, not being compatible with all polymer M-LOK furniture. If the manufacturer might beef up the thickness on certain sides, if they just made an alternate product to accommodate those that's got a slightly larger tolerance in the wedges, that would be awesome, because I would easily buy the 3-slot and the 7-slot in the polymer variant just to use on my, Magpul stocks. Now that Magpul's got, stocks for bolt action rifles and your 1022 and other AR-15, M-Lock, AK, the list goes on. It sucks that you have a product as cool as this that's just not compatible with all those other products that are out there and so popular, especially with manufacturers slapping that stuff on their factory rifles and putting those on the shelves. So that is my long-winded review. I apologize if that got a little dry.
Well, I won't say it's dry because, I have one of their riser mounts for just a regular rail. And so you did a really good job explaining how it works and stuff. So
Yeah.
I actually thought it was worthwhile.
Yeah, it's really ingenious. I mean, you can't really take them apart to look at how they work, but you can kind of see when you extend the tabs that there's kind of 2 springs in there. So it's really the fact that they were to pack all this into like a little rail is kind of ingenious. I just wish that it worked for more than just the metal, because I only have, including this Seekins handguard and the Tavor has a Midwest Industries handguard on there. Those are my only 2 metal M-Lock handguards. Everything else I have is polymer. So you can kind of understand the frustration that this does not work for everything. Luckily, the works on the shotgun forend on the sides because those are a little bit thinner in thickness. So if I wanted to put a flashlight on my shotgun, it does that just fine. And if I wanted to take that same flashlight off, throw it on my little carbine, my little SBR here, if I want to put it on my Tavor, I could do that without having to invest in another flashlight and another mount.
Yep.
You get the point.
Yep.
So, does anyone else have any questions?
No, I think you hit everything.
Sweet. All right, now we're going to get into the product spotlight. I've got 2 rifles that we're looking at, 2 modular sporting rifles. The first one kind of caught me off guard because I did not know this existed, and now that I do, I kind of wish I knew before. So Tactical Solutions, they're at Idaho. They make a lot of sweet products for the 1022, other rimfire rifles and pistols, and they also are getting into the AR-15 market quite a bit. So a really popular item they had for the 1022 was the SBX barrel. And so this barrel has a shroud that's permanently attached to it. So say you had a 22 suppressor and you wanted to put on your Ruger 1022 barrel, if you had like an 18.5 or even a 60-inch barrel and you're adding a 5-inch or 6-inch long suppressor, you're still getting an overall length that might be a little bit longer than you'd like. Of course, there's the option of SBRing and just slapping a shorter barrel in there, so you get a shorter overall length with that added length of that suppressor. But then you got to jump through the paperwork and do another tax stamp and then wait to get your SBR approved. So they found a workaround by taking a barrel and attaching a shroud to it that increases the length of the barrel to the legal 16-inch length for the ATF. But yet you can insert your suppressor into that shroud and it goes in quite a bit, and then you can thread it on to the actual threaded muzzle of the barrel, and then bam, you have a suppressed barrel that's quite a bit shorter than a non-shrouded barrel. So that was pretty genius. A lot of people like putting that on their 1022s, so they just didn't have to SBR their 1022s. Well, they took that same concept and brought it over to the AR-15, and I'm just now figuring it out. And I'm a little bummed because I probably would have done this on my last AR-15 build if I had known about it. So they're calling it the TSAR-223. I want to call it the SAR because it's almost like how the Russians spell it. They don't pronounce the T. But so you can get it in a complete firearm, or you can get just the upper and put it on your existing lower. So as far as the MSRPs go, if you're looking at getting the complete TSAR 223, it's $1,395. The caliber is 223 Remington. Obviously, it's 1/2 by 28 thread. The shroud, the inside diameter of that shroud is 1.75, so 1 3/4 inches. So that should fit a big variety of 223, 5.56 suppressors in different outside diameters. They do put the forend that they use is a 2-piece, but it's aluminum and it's available in key mod or M-LOK. And then the other specs in that rifle, they use the ALG Defense QMS trigger. They use the Tactical Solutions mil-spec lower receiver. The Magpul SL carbine stock, the Magpul MOE K2 plus grip, a 10-round magazine. And I think they also include an inert. Oh no, they do not include an inert suppressor. So if you do not have, you can probably get an inert suppressor anywhere. Because it's just a tube with nothing in it. So you can get this as a complete rifle for that much, or if you just want to slap it on one of your existing lowers, the upper cost $1,150. So that's kind of high for just the upper, but considering that I think they're the only kid on the block doing this with a barrel shroud, you can basically have an SBR in overall length, but it's not technically an SBR because of that shroud that takes the overall barrel length to over 16 inches. And then before we open the floor, I also did want to mention that they offer the same setup in 300 blackout. If you prefer a 300 blackout for your suppressed AR, they have the TSAR 300 upper and complete for the same price points. All right, so now what do you guys think?
I think it's kind of cool myself. I mean, I've got this set up on my 1022 with the shroud for suppression. The only thing about this is you're looking at a 1/2 by 28 thread pitch. So I don't think you could get a QD mount in there. So if you got a QD suppressor, I don't think it'll work. I think you need to have a 1/2 by 28 direct thread in order to effectively use it.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that. So if you had like the NAAC, 51 thread?
Yeah, or Yankee Hill or Silencer Co. or what have you, you'd have to put a direct thread attachment on there. Plus, to do most of the QD mounts, like your AAC, you've got that little switch you got to flip, where you got to be able to grab it and twist it to get it off toward the base of the suppressor. You won't be able to get to that suppressor in there.
Yep, that's also a good observation.
So yeah, you need to make sure you have, if you're going to use it for silencing, which would be kind of stupid not to, you'll need to make sure you got either a 1/2 by 28 or you get a 30 cal with they make little step down inserts to take them from, I think it's 0.578 by something or another down to 1/2 by 28.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's it. I mean, as far as the idea goes, I mean, I like what they're doing because, not everybody has an SBR. I don't know for sure, but I'm sure there's a few states out there that, maybe
not everybody can get an SBR.
Well, right. Maybe the suppressors are legal, but SBRs aren't. So in, something like that, then this is one way to get a shorter overall package. So
yeah, a little workaround.
Yeah, and I mean, I liked the ones that they made for the 1022s, and I don't see any reason why these do the same thing. So
because they're fun. They're freaking fun. You take that short barrel shroud thing, you put it on the Slide Fire 1022 stock. Oh, you can have some fun with that ammo for darn near nothing.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then I don't think we mentioned the bore lengths, and that's something obviously if you're shooting, especially 300 blackout, you always want to know exactly how long is that bore, considering what ammo you're going to be shooting. So for the 300 blackout, looks like they used an 11-inch bore, meaning it goes 11 inches and then it turns into that shroud. And it looks like the 223 version is a 12-inch barrel. One thing that I'm bummed out about, that I'm sure one of you guys would mention too, is they don't sell the TSAR barrel separately like they do the SBX barrel, and I don't know if with the handguard that they've chosen here, if it interfaces with the shroud or not, or if you can use this on any upper with any handguard that obviously meets that length requirement. There might be a little gap between the end of your handguard and where that shroud starts, but
I don't think the handguard length would have anything to do with the gun, because the handguard length has nothing to do with the 16 inches. It's the shroud that's actually...
if you were using like a Seekins handguard, for instance, and you wanted to put this shrouded barrel inside of your upper and basically build it yourself and save yourself over $1,000, would you be able to? The fact that I can go to Cabela's and buy an SBX barrel itself right off the shelf and then put it in my 1022 and be ready to roll. It's kind of disappointing that they don't offer the barrel and the shroud setup separately like they do the SBX.
The only thing you'd have to take a look at would be, if you notice at the end of their the handguard, there's looks like a screw on the right side. I'm assuming there's going to be a screw on the 3 o'clock position on the other side to hold the handguard together at the end of the barrel, or toward the end of the barrel. So you have to make sure you can hold your handguard together, because I don't know how all those handguards join together. So just something to think about.
Obviously, a two-piece handguard makes sense because you've got the shroud there, prevents you from taking a free-floated handguard that goes over a barrel nut and sliding it over the whole barrel, because you've got that big old shroud there that's permanently affixed. So they had to go with a two-piece setup for this. So maybe that has something to do with not offering the barrel individually, because you'd get a lot of... Maybe you'd have some people that tried to do a free float and then found out that it wasn't compatible. If you're able to, I mean, you'd have to put like one of those triangle caps or circular caps at the end to use the Magpul two-piece furniture.
It doesn't,
something to think about.
It doesn't really say if this system is like free floated, which I mean, it says
it would be.
It says it's a two-piece free floating handguard. So
I'm assuming they're using a pistol length tube.
Gas system.
Yeah. And that's something that 300 Blackout owners are going to want to know anyway, is what's the gas length.
Right.
Yeah. I wonder if you can adjust the pressure going back into the receiver, like turn it off or dial it down.
Or if it's a standard gas block, if you swap it out with an adjustable gas block.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in and say it's probably a standard gas block, because if it was adjustable, I think they would advertise that. I mean, they mentioned the fact that they're using an ALG Defense QMS trigger, which is their quality mil-spec trigger. It's kind of nothing to write home about, but they made sure to mention it. So, I think if they were doing anything outside of just plain Jane, they would have made a point to mention it.
Agreed.
Yeah. From the look of the picture of just the upper, even on the 223 one, it still looks kind of like it's a pistol gas system by looking through the handguard.
Mm-hmm. It does look cool, though.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where it's at for me. If I can't like buy the barrel and build it myself, I'm not going to drop over $1,000 on an upper just for this concept.
Yeah, when if you already have a suppressor, why don't you buy yourself a $500 upper, SBR another lower? Yeah,
it's just whether or not you have the patience.
Right.
I'm thinking the reason they saw it as a completed upper's got to have something with this NFA skirting the I don't want to say skirting, but the way they have to comply with the NFA and not make this a SBR.
It could be. It's highly possible.
Yeah. Because people get this, they're going to do stupid stuff with it. Whereas like the 22 shroud that you buy from Tactical Solutions, that comes assembled. If you take it apart, you have to physically, cut it apart or take it apart, do something to take it apart. Whereas this, I don't know if it would come apart and you'd have to assemble it if they were to ship it to you with just a barrel. So
I'm going to disagree with you guys there, because you can buy a 10-inch barrel in 5.56 or 300 Blackout or whatever for an AR-15, and there's nothing to stop you from putting it into something you're not supposed to. Those parts are all commonly available. So I don't think they're worried about it from that perspective. I think there's something else motivating them going, well, if we sell this at a complete upper, the profit margin is X. If we sell it as just a barrel, the profit margin is B, which is much smaller than X. Or it may just be that they're running these lines, and when production gets to a certain point, then they'll start selling the barrels by themselves. But we just haven't gotten to that point yet, because stuff like that tends to be a secondary market anyway. It's not really the primary goal of the manufacturer to sell just the components.
Right.
Okay, that's cool.
Yep. Still interesting stuff, though.
Interesting. SIG tried to get away with something like this, and they got shot down by the ATF. So it's interesting that Taxol was able to pull it off.
But that was with that quote unquote muzzle rifle we're selling.
And
they were on the side selling a tube that you could put on there to
the sleeve.
Be the actual silencer.
Yeah. So listen, it's all stupid rules that you have to work around regardless of which way you come at it. And some people sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't. Remember, we know the SIG brace because of SIG, so they nailed that one until 5,000 people kept writing the ATF going, "Is this okay? Is this okay?"
Let's just repeal the NFA, and then you don't have to worry about any of this nonsense.
Well, the same people that kept writing the ATF won't even write their congressmen and senators to get them to repeal the NFA, so don't worry about it. It won't happen.
Oh, how ironic.
Okay, let's get out of the political discussion, shall we?
No, it's not even political. It's just stupid humans discussion is what it is.
Yeah, because
that's exactly.
The rules are set up and the rules are stupid. So we have to move the goalpost to comply with the rules so that we can still get what we want. But it's a workaround because you made these stupid rules. So we're playing within your stupid rules, but it doesn't give you what you wanted and the reason behind you wrote your stupid rule in the first place. So too bad you lose.
Nice. And I agree with that 100%.
Sean, right. You have a real problem expressing your emotions.
I've been told I have a problem with authority too.
Yeah, I was going to say. All right, so we're going to move on to the next rifle, and it's similar themed as far as it's, over $1,000, and it's, something little that might be out of the everyday guy's budget, but it's new and interesting. So M&M Industries, I think it's M+M, so they don't get sued by the candy company.
Mars.
So they have created the M10X International Defense Rifle, and it's kind of an AK, kind of a Galil, kind of not really an AR.
It's a mutant.
So what it is, it's kind of a new rifle platform in and of itself, but it borrows a lot of features from other rifles that people tend to like. So the caliber, it's 7.62 by 39. So obviously there's a large market for that, and magazines and so on. It's a semi-automatic rotating bolt, long stroke, gas piston driven system. And it does have, they put the Magpul folding Zhukov stock on there. So you've got the, the barrel length is 16.5 inches. And it has a left side charging handle. Was it reciprocating or not? I don't remember based on the video.
I'm going to guess reciprocating because it looks like it's attached right to that bulk carrier.
Yeah.
Well, you can reverse it.
Also looks like it's reversible, yeah.
So Iraq veteran 88, or Eric, as you might know him, he got a chance to do a first look video on this gun. So you actually want to see it being run, you can head on over to his channel and check it out.
Yeah. I like the fact that it has that long stroke gas piston because SKSs have a long stroke gas piston. I found I don't know, I like shooting SKS better than I like shooting AK. It's not an AK-47. I wonder how many parts can actually be compatible with it because you got to love it. Because anytime you come up with a new rifle, everybody goes, well, what about spare parts? What about an end of days if you have to use it, you don't have spare parts?
I think the magazine is what's compatible with the AK-47. I think that might be about it.
and the aftermarket stock.
Yeah. But I mean, my thing is nothing has to be. I mean, is your 30-30 compatible with, your bolt action rifle? It all doesn't have to be compatible. Quality products will probably last and not break. You know what I mean? And if it
Especially when
does
all you
break,
do is post pictures of it on the internet and don't actually take it to the range more than once a year.
yeah, well, those are some of the same people.
Oh,
They cut
snap.
the
He
big
said
guns.
it.
Yeah, that's a little heat. That's a little heat. Yeah, if your gun never appears at the range but always appears on Instagram, don't worry about breaking it. But I think it's pretty cool. It's in the price point of everything else that's not an AK. But it shoots a 7.62 by 39.
Yeah. So it does have a full length top rail for mounting your optics wherever you like. From what I noticed with the video that Eric did, if you want to use a scope, you might need to get like a really low ring set, because it just seems like that top rail is sitting on what would be a dust cover for an AK. So it's kind of high up there. So you want a proper cheek weld, you may have to get a really low mount, or mount a red dot with its lowest Picatinny base. Or I think you can get this with a just a regular buffer tube adapter. So if you wanted to use your favorite, AR-15 buttstock with a cheek riser or whatnot, I think you might be able to do that as well. The thing I like about this versus an AK is, as I'm kind of interested in that new AK suppressor and how does it affect the AK platform. And honestly, AKs were not designed to be suppressed, and so they don't suppress well. There's kind of a diminishing return on that. Well, this having an adjustable gas system right up front, kind of like the SCAR, if you wanted a 7.62 by 39 platform to suppress and have an adjustable system where you can turn it down and still cycle your action, but turn down some of that excess gas so you don't get overgassed in the face, you could do that with this. I don't
Now,
see.
I saw that Chad on Iraqi Veteran 8888 did some like home gunsmithing work to get it to the setting that it fed with the and worked with the suppressor. Did I not see that right, or that's what he did? Correct.
I think because the whatever models that they got for the T&E, they did not have. They only had a couple settings, and they heard from M+M saying that they in the future would have additional gas settings on there, so you wouldn't have to do it yourself in your garage.
Yeah, because that didn't seem like something cool.
Right.
But that's nice that they're at least making it adjustable so that you can suppress it that way.
Yeah.
I was looking at the accuracy. I thought it was pretty cool that this was shooting. What was it, like about 2-inch MOA with Hornady ammo, and what was it, about 2.5 inches or something like that with the regular just surplus or Wolf or
Red Army.
Red Army ammo. So it's right in there. I mean, everything is not MOA. And really doesn't have to be. Military standard, pretty much, even for the AR-15, is 4 inches at 100 yards. So this is decent.
Yep. And I think Sean might have mentioned it, that the charging handle looks to be interchangeable. If you are lefty or righty, it seems like you can just pop that handle off, move it to the other side of the bolt, and then pop it back in, so you can run it whichever way you prefer.
It's kind of lightweight too, compared to a AK. Looks like it weighs in at 7 pounds.
Yeah, 7 pounds.
Yeah, it's definitely a reversible charging handle. And they have a free download here. I'm kind of browsing through it right now for the owner's manual. So you can, if you're curious about this thing, you can look at the entire disassembly right in the owner's manual that they have as a free download. So, and it shows you how to switch the charging handle and set it up and all that stuff. Pretty slick.
So I went and looked it up and found it on Bud's Gun Shop for $1,000, which is pretty cool, because when you start going through and looking for something that's not an AK-47, fire 7.62 by 39, you got Rock River LAR-47 that comes in at $1,600. You have the Galil that comes in at $1,500. Bear Creek makes one that's for, yeah, never mind. It uses the regular, that rear AR magazine that looks like a boomerang. The only thing that comes close is that SIG is the 5.56 version, right?
Right.
The SIG Sawyer SIG 5.56X. Okay, here it is. The SIG 5.56XI in 7.62 by 39. That comes in at like 1,065. But I don't know. I was watching Mac on the Military Arms channel, and that thing did not run no matter what he did to it. So yeah, pretty much. This is probably one of the lesser expensive new guns that fire 7.62 by 39 from an AK magazine.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty cool.
It looks cool as hell. It's got some cool features on there. The pictures on their website seem to show an M-Lock compatible handguard.
Correct.
But the video that Iraq veteran did, they had some different handguards that I'm not sure which one is like the set one that's going to be on the production rifles. If it's the one that we're looking at with the pictures, I'm just fine with that. It looks like it's got a little 45-degree spots as well as the sides.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I noticed that too. It looked like M-Lock. It also looks like with the one in the pictures that it has all the way up at the front. It looks like a QD hole. I don't know if that's what it actually is, but
yeah, they said something about. They said something about it works with the one that Iraqi veteran had. Theirs worked with some kind of kinetic development group connect M-Lock thing.
Yeah, it should work just fine for that. This is
in the owner's manual. It points out that it's all M-Lock, and it shows you where it's got the QD sling mounts and all that stuff.
Oh,
cool,
sweet.
Yeah, I like the look of this thing. The scope thing might be the only thing you might have to actually physically take it to a shop and maybe try out some different heights of one-piece ring bases. Or like you said, if you had like an aim point or something like that, use the shortest setting because the cheek weld might be a little too high if you use like some medium rings or anything taller than medium.
Yeah, you're gonna have to look for a riser, a cheek riser or something. Depends on what you get.
But I think
listen,
cool.
You wanted something different, you got something different. Now go find out what works with it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is it's different, but it's not like you guys were all saying, the price range isn't out of the ballpark for what you're getting. I mean, to me, it's looks more plausible than some of the other stuff on other podcasts we've discussed. I mean,
yeah,
that's just my opinion, but some of the stuff that Ryan comes up with for the podcast, I don't know if he just wants us to trash on him or what, but
I'm trying to do better. I don't know if you've noticed.
I can think of one show in particular.
On the web for Magpul, and just says anything with M-Lock on it, we're going to review.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a Magpul search engine actually, so I just boot that thing up and hit enter, and then I just throw whatever's on there on the show.
And I think he's paid a commission by Magpul every time he mentions their name or their products on the show.
No, that's not true. That's Magpul, not true. Not at all Magpul.
I just had to laugh because when we did the review on the Tejas belt, I'm like, really, dude, the belt, really? You're doing a review on the belt from Magpul?
Yep. Well, you want to know if it's good or not, don't you?
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, he doesn't need payment. He is a true believer.
Oh,
that's right. Okay. Also, this thing's cool. It looks like the handguard has a built-in hand stop on the very end, just kind of a little extra.
Exactly what I was just looking at.
Yeah.
So if you like it nice, sexy, and clean, you don't need to put any accessories on there. At least you have some kind of utilitarian hand stop. That barrel's long enough where I wouldn't necessarily worry about getting my hand too close to the muzzle. But if you're dumping mags and that barrel heats up, it's kind of nice to have a little ledge there to keep your hand from grabbing the wrong metal piece.
Well, that's a self-correcting problem. Don't worry about
it. Yeah, that only happens once or twice.
I would also like to mention that the fire safety selector is AR-15 style, not AK style.
Oh yeah,
thank goodness. But it's a short throw. It's
45 or something.
Yeah, it's pretty slick.
I mean, I think what they did was really, because they built AKs before out of Romanian kits. They did their research. They came out with a monolithic upper. They came up with a pretty good gas system. They came out with the M-Lock. I mean, they just did their homework, and hopefully it works out for them.
Right.
I really think this is part of the industry gets to breathe now and do new things because of who won the election. They don't have to hold their breath, you know what I mean, and wait for what's banned, what gets hit with the ban hammer. So we're going to see a lot more things like this coming out in the next couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is like, for the most part, I mean, people that wanted an AK have an AK. People who want an AR have an AR. Or
No, I
more
don't
than
buy into
one.
that. I don't buy into that at all. I think because the numbers were growing, were coming in, and this is a new market. Plus, again, you still have the people that they got all the AKs they want. They realize now they don't have to panic buy AR-15 lowers. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now they can do something else.
Right, and so there's probably more of a market for this than there was a year ago.
Yeah, but then also you have people that have never owned an AK or AR-15, probably tired of seeing them, but want something new, and they're just getting into the firearms market now.
Yeah.
Boom, here you go. I mean, there's a whole market that we, can't imagine. Or who knows? Put it in a video game, and this thing blows the heck up like a SCAR did.
No kidding.
Here's another question for the group. What kind of trigger does this thing have? I mean, I'm looking at it. I'm guessing it's an AK type trigger pack from the pins, but
yeah, I couldn't tell. But
I mean, they didn't mention trigger. They didn't not mention trigger. Oh, actually, they did. They said they swapped the trigger out. One had a 2-stage, and the other had a 1-stage. But they really didn't say. I'm assuming it's an AR trigger. I mean, would that be something to assume? Who makes a 2-stage AK?
Okay,
trigger?
All right, but look at the side of the receiver and look at the size of the pin above the trigger.
Right.
That does not look like an AR trigger.
Those are pretty big pins.
Pins go, right?
Okay.
To me, that says AK. So whether they're manufacturing their own triggers or they're going to somebody else who's doing it, because I know I just ordered triggers from ALG for their AKs. So I know there's aftermarket triggers out there, but
you
don't hear about a whole lot of them.
Look it up. Right, Sean? Is it in the manual?
I looked. I couldn't find it in the manual.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, doesn't it say how to remove the trigger? I mean, okay.
No, that's not part of the field stripping.
Yeah.
Something else that we didn't mention is it looks like it doesn't come with any sights. So
Correct.
No irons. However, it does come in a hard case. So it's kind of a trade-off. You got to buy your own irons, which is not a big deal. But sometimes a lot of people bulk that, hey, why does my $1,000+ gun come in a cardboard box with some styrofoam in it?
Where's TJ to complain about that?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm speaking for TJ right now.
I'm not. I'm speaking for all the cheap bastards everywhere and going, they were 100% right. Come on, man, $1,000 and you can't come up with anything but a cardboard box and no sight.
Come on, man, you got $1,000 and you can't spend another $30 on a hard case, you punk.
How much
to cheap Tony?
Sights? Magpul.
Hey, Tony, well, you have to drop $2,800 on a freaking rifle and you get a cardboard box with it. It doesn't even have styrofoam in it. It's just
please. Tony's still carrying his high point around in the cardboard box it came in. He still hasn't put a case in on that.
Well, yeah, but you'd expect
you're out of excuses, bro.
You'd expect that to not even.
And then he lacquers that cardboard so it lasts longer.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm transferring it right now because I'm taking it to the range tomorrow, and I hate all of you.
At least we have haters.
All right. So, basically, the M10X, I think it's pretty cool. I think if I see one in the store, I've got to hold it. I think if M&M contacts me and wants to send me some candy, I'll say yes. If M+M wants to contact me and send me this rifle to T&E, I will say hell yes for sure. I might even put some M&Ms in the grip anyway, just for the funny value of that.
Well, I'm not buying this until they've got a heavy barrel version to go with my RPK.
There you go.
Well,
all right, cool. Yeah.
All right, so moving on. Listener feedback. We don't really have listener feedback. I did get an email from somebody local to me that wants to meet up with me at the show. So I'm just going to say, Ronaldo, thanks for the email. and I look forward to meeting you at the next gun show.
Remember, he likes hugs. He really likes hugs. Full
right.
body
Hey,
hug.
do you want your 15 seconds of fame here or not? Because you're next.
Next week's coupon code, Ryan Cross is a hugger.
Hey, listen, why don't we talk about the Second Is for Everyone diversity shoot that takes place on April 6th, coming up at Gun for Hire Range in Woodland Park, New Jersey. If you want to help out or want to donate to the cause, you can go to diversityshoot.com and check it out. Help us out. And if you're going to be there, listen, hope to see you. We're going to have a great time. We're going to kill those stereotypes that the mass media tries to put out. And we welcome everyone as long as you can legally own and hold a gun. We want you to shoot. We want to make you feel welcome. We want to bring you into the 2A family in New Jersey. So come out, eat pizza, win prizes, fellowship with all of us, and just have a good time. And go to blackbagresources.com and check out what Saturday's class is like if you want to get on that critical first aid, self-aid, and active shooter, civilian response to active shooter. So those are my plugs. I kind of doubled up on them, but I had to throw it out there.
And I'm going to make sure Tony lubes up that high point carbine so it doesn't self-destruct like it did last time. You have my
The high
word.
point will be lubed. The high point will be lubed.
Just don't let Tony shoot it, and it'll run forever.
You can't stop him.
Freedom.
You know, I think you need to get some of the multicolored crazy targets instead of shooting black targets as far as the whole diversity thing goes.
I don't shoot black targets in diversity shoot.
Yeah.
No,
we shoot it.
We had targets donated by CNJFO, another Second Amendment organization in New Jersey that's pushing for an end to justifiable need, which is a standard required to receive a concealed carry permit in New Jersey, which is basically an arbitrary decision on the part of a judge. So they either get to say yes or no. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. CNJFO has a series of targets that they sell called Charlie the Perp, the bad guy that gets to carry a gun because he doesn't worry about the permitting process. So we shoot that guy.
Yeah, and he's a white guy.
Yeah.
Cool.
Also, Freedom Munitions donated some ammo, so that will be used at the Second Is for Everyone diversity shoot this time around. So really
Sweet.
appreciate the help we got from sponsors because this gets expensive and I pay for it out of pocket or with whatever people donate. So I really appreciate people like them, like Ryan, like Chad, if he ever gets his stuff together.
Yeah, if I ever ship it off.
He's putting all those A2 pistol grips in a box, man. He's got like 600 of them.
I keep finding more stuff, and then I gotta find a box that it all fits in.
And this is Chad we're talking about, so there could be some like A1, some E3 grips in there. You don't know what you're getting. Some
great
stuff.
Some
big light.
The big light stuff.
Some
Kind of brownish
light.
stuff. Yeah.
No, couple of flintlocks. Flintlock.
Flintlocks, what the hell is that?
Lead balls. Then he has to find a Pony Express rider to get it out to me.
One of the big dragons that you load black powder into from the ancient wars in China.
Yes, and you had to like stick some sort of stick in to fire it.
Marco Polo swim goggles.
Hey Tony, I'm gonna throw one more thing out there without an explanation, because we're not going to share the background story, but we do want to send a thank you to Adam Kraut for his efforts in supporting NJ2 or the the diversity shoot and Tony's Second Is for Everyone organization.
Yeah, Adam Kraut's the man. Real cool guy. Hey, listen, if you guys haven't got your NRA ballots or you haven't voted yet, make sure you put Adam Kraut down for the board of directors for NRA. He's a real good guy. I forgot to post some pictures we took at the machine gun shoot. Ryan was at with myself and a lot of the guys from the Firearms Radio Network. Adam was one of the cooler guys who had his SBR with a suppressor and was just letting anyone walk up to you, shoot it. You know what I'm saying? Guy, another example of cool gun people.
Yep. Thank goodness he's got a haircut since then.
Yes.
Y'all got smearing off.
Well, that's running for office. Yeah. You got to cut your hair and keep your beard nicely trimmed, you know?
Yep. So Adam Kraut also does the legal brief on the Gun Collective. So every Wednesday he covers a topic considering about the legality of something in the firearms industry. So he really breaks it down and crushes the myths and misinformation about that. So you guys really need to catch that on their YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Gun Collective to catch that every Wednesday.
There's a real good one about the SIG brace that he did that covers a lot of things. If Tony stops moving furniture.
Sorry, my cardboard box with my carbine and it fell. Shut up.
Yeah, but he goes into great detail on the SIG brace and why it's okay or not okay to use that in different capacities. So Good stuff. Keep up the good work, Adam, and thank you for your support of 2A4E.
Yep. Good plug. I will allow the heck out of that.
Yeah.
All right, so wrapping up, send questions or comments to gungearreview@gmail.com. Remember to subscribe and leave us an iTunes review. Check out all the other shows on the Firearms Radio Network at firearmsradio.tv, and be sure to visit the Firearms Insider website for reviews and industry coverage. And then if you're not already, add the Firearms Insider on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, all the trimmings. So that's the end of the show. Thanks everyone for sticking around this long, and I hope you all take advantage of all the knowledge that we've bestowed upon you today.
And the coupon codes.
And the coupon
and
codes.
As they say in Spain, adios, Felicia.
Oh wow! Look at him. Oh, internet.